Hi everyone, I'm KFK's Creative Home. Welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be setting up the Christmas tree right here in front of this bay window. Finally found a spot in front of a window where you can see the tree from the front of the house. So excited about that. So we're going to get it set up and I'm going to describe the tree and let you know all about it as I'm doing it. For decorating the tree, that's going to come up in a future video. So let's get started. So today I'm decorating tree T-52. It is a 6.5-foot pre-lit glittering frost slim pine tree. It has 200 pre-strung lights and 559 branch tips, and it is a little over 3 feet wide. So it's a nice slim fit, which I love. I love slim trees. And again, the letter that you want to look for is T-52. In addition to this, it has 24 natural pine cones and 24 clusters of artificial red berries. And of course, your tree stand is included. So because of the lighting, it's daylight and I didn't want that light shining right at you, I'm going to give you a side view and the tree is going to kind of fit where I have my hands. I am covered my hair and wearing a mask because the flocking does bother me a bit. So you take your tree stand out of the box and what you do is kind of cross each side just by twisting it. They're fitted together so you can't take them apart, but you just turn one and you can see how the holes line up, and you just take one of the screws. You have 3 holes, 3 screws, should have 3 screws, and you just turn it into the opening there. You just want to give it a couple twists so to get it started. You don't want it to the screw to show up on the inside, because that's where the spike or the trunk of your tree is going to go, and if the screws are already on the inside, the tree trunk can't get down in there. So you just work your way around. Sometimes these screws just kind of slide out and you get them down in there, twist to turn a little bit. I happen to have dropped one of the screws, and guess where it went? It went straight down into my air duct. I screamed, "Oh no," you're about to see it happen. And then I jumped down, there it goes, lifted the top off the air vent, hoping to see the screw lying there. But no, it slid all the way down. It's gone. So I went to the 800 number, and I guess I'm going to reappear at some point. Boy, I was looking for that screw. I called the 800 number that's included in the instructions, and they gave me an email address that I can request another screw. So hopefully I will get that soon. I went ahead and set up the tree. At the end, you'll see that it's slightly leaning, and that's because I don't have that third screw to balance it out. I was just like, I don't believe that happened. And what's funny is I had just opened the vent because I was a little chilly. I should have left it closed. So that's how it looks on the inside while we're waiting for our third screw. So the next thing I want to show you is part C. If you have a 3-part tree, C will usually be the bottom. If you don't see the label, it's always the one with the longest stem. So you just pop that protective cap off, and I keep those because when I'm storing it, I wanted to put it back on there so when I'm messing around with this tree, I don't cut myself, because it is a pointed edge at the bottom. So you just unwrap your tree section here, and then I'm going to put that pointed section down into my tree stand. So again, I'm showing you the label C. That's on the bottom. I took the labels off. The labels that are near the cords, I leave them on because otherwise I can never find the cords. So, and I don't want to spend an hour searching for a cord when a nice little red label clearly points it out. I guess I could take it off and then at the end of the season, mark it again. I just leave it on. I just make sure that it's in the back and it gets hidden when I put some ornaments in, and I've never had a problem with it being visible. So let me get this. I kind of have to finagle this tree trunk down into the slot, and I think I had to actually loosen the screws a bit because there we go. The screws were actually inside and blocking it from going all the way down. Make sure it gets all the way down so your tree won't be wobbling to and fro or falling out, and it'll be nice and sturdy if you get it down in there good. So I'm going to now tighten the screws, and that's what holds your tree in place so that it doesn't wobble, so that it doesn't fall, so it doesn't lean. So when I get that, again, I said that third screw, when I get that, it'll help to balance it out, because I'll have to, right now I have these two in really tight to hold it in place. And when I get that third one in, I'll actually loosen those a little bit so that the third one can come in from the other side. And when they're all turned about the same amount of times, and make sure your tree is nice and straight, because it's more centered. Okay, while I'm working those screws in, if you enjoy these types of videos, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with others, so you'll be notified when, and ring the bell so you'll be notified when I release new videos. And please don't forget to come back and see what I do when I decorate my tree. I was inspired by Rebecca Robeson this year, and I'll explain why when I do that video, but I look forward to sharing that with you. Okay, so I've got my tree in there, and what I'm doing on the other side there is actually starting to shape some of the branches. And when I get around to the side that you see, I will show you how I shape my branches and talk to you a little more. What I do though is I don't just stand each branch up. I kind of learned to decorate my tree when I first had the old-fashioned trees, where you had to really do everything, hook in each branch and all that good stuff. So here's the bottom of my tree. I got the first first section shaped up, and you can see how nice and full it looks. If you don't have the funds, you do not have to buy a $1,000,000 tree. This tree, I think, was $112 or $119 or something like that. And I've had trees that were $69, $59, $49. It doesn't matter to me, because when you shape a tree correctly, it can look really full. So what I'm going to do now is put on the second section. It has the next longest trunk. And see that protective cap on there? That's going to come off, and I'm going to get this plastic off, and then I'll be inserting it into the opening that's left at the top of section C there. It'll just slide right down in there. And yeah, this is section B. And so we'll get that in, and then you'll be able to see how it just continues the tree going up. So I'm going to bring the camera over a little bit. Hope that doesn't make you dizzy. And I'm trying to show you the stand. I don't know if you can actually see it where my finger's pointing. No, you can't, because that branch is kind of in the way. Sorry about that. But it's it just looks like the green piece right here, except that it's open at the top. So here's the cap coming off. Toss that in my box so it'll be there when I need it to store. And then this is going right down into the opening. Sorry, that branch was in the way. I didn't realize that. And you just kind of finagle it on in there, twist and turn a little bit, push it down until you feel like it's completely in place. There's nothing you do to lock it or anything. It just slides in place. Okay, so I'm going to bring down some of these branches once I get the camera back in the right position. And on this side, I'm going to show you a little bit about how I shape the branches. First, I plug it in to make sure the lights are working. And I probably should have did this for all three sections of the tree. Make sure all the lights are working before I start. I tend to do it a section at a time. Believe me, it won't hurt if you check all the sections. You can just plug them into your outlet. You don't have to plug them into the next section of the tree just to check the lights. Because, I would have really been mad if I had done all this shaping and then found the top didn't work and I have to take the whole tree back. All right, so I loosen them up, and then the first two that are in the back, I put them in a V shape pointing straight up. And then there's usually, like on the bottom row, there was two up there pointing up, and then one I put right in the center of it. So it was almost like a W shape in the end. And then the one that's in the center though, I point a little bit toward me. And then the next two I point out like they're across. And then the next two I come back and do a V shape with one center one pointing out toward me. And then the next one across, just depending on how many stems you have on each branch. I just keep doing that until I get to the front. And then there in the front you can see this tree has these really bushy branches. So those really bushy ones that were on the end, I just made a kind of triangle with them. And you can see right there how they're in the, one is at the top and kind of two at the bottom, left and right. That's how I did each of the branches. This tree has the pine cones and it has the berries. I do not want to use the berries this year, so I actually end up taking them off. Some of them, they wrapped around the branches. Some of them were easy to just unwrap. The other ones, I just used the wire cutter to clip them off. And I'm just not going to use them because of my theme this year, my color scheme. I don't want red in the tree. And later I'll point out to you how I realized there's still going to be a little red, but I hope it's not too visible in the end because, like I said, I don't want to have to take this tree completely apart and take it back. I like the tree. I want to keep the tree. So I am just working my way around there, shaping up all the branches, and I will get back to you in a minute with what I'm going to do next. So here you can see I've gotten most of section B shaped up. You can see how nice and full it is. You wouldn't believe a tree at this price could be so full. So I'm going to show you in a minute. I'm going to bring the camera closer again and try to show you as I shape one of these branches. These did not have as many because, you know, the tree is getting narrower and you don't need as much to fill it in. So you don't have as many stems, I guess you'll call it, on each branch. But I am going to show you real quickly how I just reach in here, and the first one you're going to see, I kind of just point up and toward the center. Let me get the camera straight. Okay. Whoops. So, okay. So the first one is kind of just up toward the center. The next two are the ones I'm going to use to make my V, and I'm looking for not the full ones that belong on the front, but see how these are two kind of normal stems here. And then I've got two more. One goes out to the side there with my right hand, and then I'm gonna grab one with my left hand, and see how they're just out to the side. They're not pointed up toward the air. So got those two to the side, and then I've got these three full ones in the front. And again, I'm gonna just make my little triangle shape that I said, facing out to you, toward you as you're standing there, and that gives you a whole lot of space to add on your ornaments. These branches get really bent up in the box. Make sure they're completely straight from the root all the way to the end, because sometimes that little section there I'm just pointing to, that's a wonderful place to kind of hide or nest, I should say, a ornament, or the nest a flower, or the nest something large that you might want to put in your tree. Here again, I'm doing it. I just did a V. I'm going to find another small one. See how that one went to the side on the right, and then I found one that can go kind of up a little bit. There we go. See how that makes that W shape right there? And then I have still two left, so one comes out to the right, one's going to come out to the left, and then my three full ones are facing forward. And I'm sorry, the camera is a little high here, but you can see the top of that. But yeah, there's the one I put to the side. I knew it was one over there somewhere. So the three in the front always coming towards you, the three in the back kind of standing up to fill in the back of the tree, and then the ones I put out to the side are the ones that are great for hanging ornaments, more ornaments. All right, I got the first two sections together, and now I'm just showing you section A. I'm going to put that on the very top, and I put it in not realizing that, because I hadn't taken the plastic off yet, I didn't realize where the plug was, so I ended up having to take it off. It's very easy. Just lift it up and slide it back in, turn it a little bit, slide it back in. So when I went to lift it, I think the bottom section was actually coming apart, because I told you none of these are screwed in. Again, just pop it back in, just press down. So once I get this off, I'm going to realize, my screw isn't in the right place. I think it's actually facing the front. Yeah, right there. So I realize that's not going to reach all the way to where it needs to be plugged into the other section of the tree. I've got to pop it off. And you can see it's good and snug just from sliding it in place. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a tussle, guide it out, and then I'm going to put it in so that the cord is in the back. And now I can just plug it into the rest there. So section C, section B, section A, they're all plugged in right there. That's right there together. And there's a leftover outlet right there in your tree. So, you know, some people want to add spinners, or you might add something else that gets plugged in. You got a place to put it in that's already right in the tree. If you have a topper, tree topper that lights up, you only have to make it down to that section right there, the bottom of section A. You can plug it, that cord right in there. You don't have to extend the cord all the way to the floor. All right, so now these branches are just single branches. So it's just a matter of bringing them down a little bit. Remember, you want them, for the bottom ones here of section A, I kind of almost bring them out straight. They may be at like a 30-degree angle. If you know your angles, let me see. If you don't know your angles, I would say it's like, what can I compare it to? I don't know. Just sitting here thinking what I could compare that to. Because I'm thinking the heel on your shoe is kind of like a 45-degree angle. So it's a little less than that, but you'll kind of see how I have them coming out. That one I just did is a good one. As I get closer, you'll probably see more. They're coming out. Oops, looks like I missed one of the bottom ones. Yeah, I did. So let me get that one shaped up there, because see how I'm making my, I call them my bunny ears. I got two going up. I got one centered. There's the one I'm putting out to the side again. And up to you, but pine cones. Uh-oh, what am I talking about here? Oh, my bunny shape again. How I do the branches. But pine cones, the berries, I'll let them just kind of stick straight out. The pine cones, sometimes I left them sitting straight out, but most of the time I wanted them hanging down. I wanted it to look a little more realistic. You know, pine cone on the tree would kind of hang. All right, so there again, see my W shape, those 3 branches? And then I took 2 and pushed it down to the side. And I'm trying to get this berry off while I'm here, because I see that it unhooks. I did try to leave a lot of them on, so you can see how the tree would look if you have berries, if you leave the berries on there. And but like I said, I won't be using them this year. So eventually I'll take them all off when you see the final pictures. Okay, so now I'm going to just work my way around here, shaping and shaping and shaping, pulling down each branch. So if you hold on a second, I'm going to speed this up a little bit, and I'll talk you through what I'm doing. So here we are, moving at the speed of light. Oh, I wish I could move this fast. But anyway, you can see how I'm bringing some of the branches out at a slight angle. And I think you can see some of them from the side there, how they're not coming like straight out to you, but they're slightly angled up. And that's because if you look at a tree, the branches are slightly going up because they're reaching toward the sun. So always think about that when you're shaping your tree. Leave them slightly angled up, reaching toward the sun, as if they're reaching toward the tree topper. Okay, so you just work your way through here, just trying to find every branch. Again, making sure it's good and straight, not curved on the edges. That one, that had the end curve, so I was working that one out. And just pulling them down. Now what I find funny about this tree, if you're looking at it right now, you see those really bushy stems. To me, I call them, what do you call those trees? Bottle brush trees. They look like bottle brush trees. And what was interesting was when I was in the store, I saw this tree. I liked it. It was on display. And when I went to the box, I'm like, they look like bottle brushes. I don't like that. I'm like, is this the same tree? So I went back over to the display, and it just doesn't look like this on the display. It really looks more airy. But for some reason, when it's on camera, all you see, I guess because it's white, you see all those white branches coming out at you. And they look like bottle brushes to me. But At any rate, if you like this look, that's how it kind of looks. If you don't, look at the one on display. It really has a lot of space in between, so it's not like coming out at you so forcefully, I guess you would say. So I've kind of got this tree coming together. And now look at how full that is. Just by shaping it for $100, a little over $100. Isn't that great? Excuse me again. So I'm shaping the top a little bit. So sorry about that. I didn't angle the camera correctly so that you could see. But it was still just a few up there at the top that had to be shaped. You see all this flocking on my little head wrap. So I didn't want that in my hair. So again, excuse the head wrap and the mask. Don't want to breathe this stuff in because of my allergies. Alright, so here I am now, shaping the pine cones, making sure they kind of hang down. And then that one right there that my hand just passed, that one's kind of sticking out. I'll leave some of them that direction too. But of course now it's just a bunch of shaping to do. There are a few things I want to point out to you at the end. I've got some pictures to show you what it looks like fully put together, what it looks like with some of the berries, without the berries, and I'll give you a night view what it looks like when it's lit. And oh, I was also going to show you how there is still some red on the tree. You can't see it now, can you? I mean, not the berries, but there's still some other red on the tree, and I'm going to point that out to you later. It's very, very light. You know, the color is very light, but it's there, so I'll point that out to you. Okay, let's move on. Here it is. You can see the bottom. I've taken off the berries, and now as you get up toward the top, you'll see how the berries are mixed in. Now see how it's still, I call it airy, nice and airy. It's full, but you do have space to put your ornaments and put your ribbon and other things. It's not just all branches, and I like nestling things inside the tree. It gives it added dimension. You can add a lot more color. If I put darker things within the tree, it gives it more depth, and I just love having that space to do that. So you can see it's got nice flocking. It's got that crystal like look on it, shimmering glitter there. Oh, beautiful tree. Absolutely beautiful. Look at that. Icicle like tree on the edges. Just as cute as it wants to be. So I'm going to share a few more pictures, and then I'll be right back with a little more information about the tree. So first, here in my hand are is a cluster of the berries I removed from the tree. And the next time I want to use them, all you have to do is just stick them right back in there, and it holds it just fine. So it won't be a problem if I want to use them later. Now I'm going to show you on the floor. I had started vacuuming and I forgot, but in this section you can see the amount of flocking that came off of the tree. So I think this tree did very well. It held that flocking pretty good. So you know, this was in every little section under the tree, but still wasn't a whole lot. Now I'm pointing out where I have the red and green lights on the tree. Do you see them? Right in that glitter, that little teeny bit of lighting. Never even noticed it till the final end. So it does have some more color throughout the tree, and I'm hoping it won't show up too much. Okay, again, this is T-52. I hope you like the tree. Here it is again in the daytime views. I am just so happy with it. I think it is one gorgeous tree. And here we are with the nighttime views. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to share, give it a thumbs up. Thanks for spending this time with me, and I'll be talking with you again real soon.